Hey, welcome back to the show, Entrepreneur Life. It is Saturday, a beautiful Saturday here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I am Rose, your host of Entrepreneur Life, and I am here with who?
Hi, everyone. I'm Shamara with SWHR Consulting. And today we have a very, very special guest. So we're excited about that. His name is Amir. He is a local LA artist, music artist. He, in 2018, released a really awesome single, which was Bigger House, under the name Bravo. And he has some really great new music as well that he's going to share with us today. I'll give him an opportunity to kind of talk about himself and his music and all of that. But I wanted to do a quick intro. Amir, are you with us?
Let's bring him on the screen right now. And there he is. What's going on? Yay! Thanks for the show.
What's going on? Thanks for having me.
Yay. So I told our listeners a little bit about you. And so I just want to give you an opportunity to tell them more about yourself, and then we'll dive in.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm from Los Angeles. I started doing instruments about 5 years old. Was always in like drama programs. Always did stage performance. Was just always in arts. My dad wasn't too much in the arts. He was more into the executive side of things. So, of course, having, my pops, be an executive and me just being in the arts, it was kind of like a synergistic thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I didn't start getting into writing until like my teenage years. I would say until I actually started to experience more things in life. I was able to actually write about some things. I think writing is a expression of yourself, and I feel like, sometimes, I mean, at every age you can have something to talk about, but definitely as I got older, I had more to talk about because I had experienced more, and so that's pretty much my musical journey. I was always in arts, a little bit in sports, just always been in the arts field and always have loved the arts. And it's something I can do for the rest of my life. And with my particular art, I see my art as in a sense, I like to have fun, but I also see my art as an education tool, as a way to give people a new perspective and give people a message that they haven't heard before. And so
why that genre?
Why which genre? Like hip hop genre?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I write music in any genre. Hip hop is definitely an outlet I can appreciate in terms of just the style of having fun, but I mean, music is all connected. Bluegrass came from bluegrass started jazz, and then that started country, and then it's all connected. So honestly, I can write anything. I can go into any genre if I want, because it's all connected. I guess this time, the place I am in life right now, hip hop was just the genre that was most fun, was most was the easiest genre to express my music through at the time right now.
So who would you say is your mentor? That because I see, obviously, I think with R&B, well, I say rap and hip hop, you can kind of bring any type of music is ever so changing. So you hear a little bit of something in all of it. So who would you say your mentor was that led you to hip hop?
Yeah, or who it kind of inspired you to get into music? Because you said that you've always played instruments in the past, and I want to know what kind of instruments, because I'm curious about that. But who kind of inspired you to continue on your musical journey?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because my dad and then not my dad. Because my dad's was very business oriented. He wasn't really. I mean, we had some guys that was really creative musically in our family, but he was more so more so adept in the business side of things. But I'll say it inspired me mostly musically because just making me put in an effort, just showing me like it's not just something it's it could be a hobby, but because you have a business surrounding it, it's very strategic, and it's very effort for it. Like you have to put in an effort, you have to work, you have to actually build your craft. It's not something you can just do. And I'm not somebody that likes handouts. I don't like to do things that I don't feel like I'm putting my all into. If I'm not putting my all into it, I'm really not feeling it. And with my dad showing me like this is something that you do have to put your all into, it's something you have to actually put work into. It really inspired me, and showing how he, growing up in Los Angeles himself, and in a time where it was very, very difficult for him to elevate, to get into business. It was also inspiring because all of the sacrifices he made and stuff to allow me to not have to do the things he had to do was also inspiring. So I'll definitely say my pops, honestly.
So you were on hiatus for a while though, and there was a reason why you took a break, and and what led to that hiatus and brought you back? That said, now you want to utilize what you went through to write the music.
Right. So honestly, my dad passing away definitely put me in I just didn't want to do anything. I went into a shell for a while. I went into like an isolation where I just wasn't in the zone. I just wasn't feeling it, and I had to really kind of take a step back and figure out exactly like where do I go from here. Mm-hmm. It was definitely a surreal thing because this is somebody that I grew up with. This is my parent. This is somebody that taught me a lot of different things. Somebody I was always with, almost like my best friend.
Right.
So it was real weird and real surreal, almost like it wasn't real. It was like it didn't even really happen. And so I had to kind of deal with the fact like, okay, it is real, and deal with the fact like, me and him, in this life won't talk again. And so, I just wasn't in the zone musically. I didn't feel like really writing. I didn't feel like really getting in the studio. I didn't feel like really, hitting up an engineer. I just didn't really feel like doing it. So what allowed me to get out of it though is just like, first off, music and art is therapy for me. It's a way to express myself and a way for me to get things off of my chest that sometimes I'm not able to talk with other people about. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm only able to explain through music. And also my dad's legacy was also important to me because if I'm just going to isolate and not do anything, then I'm just insulting him. Right. And my dad was a very forward-thinking person. When he was alive, he lost one of his twin sisters. A few of his sisters passed away, and I remember, being with him when he would go through these things. And his father passed away when he was young. So listening to my dad deal with those things and seeing how strong he was, and also seeing how forward-thinking he was, where he's not going to mope around because it's life. It's every human goes through that. Of course, we could hope and pray that we all are blessed with, long life and we make it into our older ages. But, my dad was always like strong about it. And like, it's, no one really dies. Like, it's kind of like the trees outside, they shed in the winter and then in the spring, they regrow. And so it's, that's clearly an example for if a tree is always there, well, then we'll always be here. So my dad was just a strong type of dude like that. He always had these philosophies. And honestly, that's what kind of also allowed me to kind of get out of it, just with his philosophies and just the music as an art in itself and just a therapy as itself. Those things combined just really helped me overcome my grief and my sadness. And of course, I always think about it. You know, I'll never stop thinking about it. But you know, it definitely helped me get to where I'm at today. So I'm thankful for that.
You
So
know,
when you talk about your dad and everything like that, you mentioned that he was a business owner himself in the business world. So what are some of the things that he kind of taught you when it comes to business in the music industry? Because again, a lot of people in the music industry, especially up and coming, sometimes only just focus on the music and not really understand the business piece of it and connect the two together in order to be successful. So what are some of those things that your dad taught you that kept you focused, kept you consistent, kept you trying to fulfill your dream?
Well, mainly taught me to do my due diligence all the time, business wise. You know, don't let somebody do the work for you in terms of like researching, getting references, and just honestly just getting into the books and really just getting mentors, you know, and asking people. You know, I've never been afraid to ask people stuff. You know, even if I might have asked a question that was
May
embarrassing.
sound stupid
Like,
to people.
yeah, exactly. Like if I asked a stupid question, I just always asked it, and I never cared about what a person thought about,
Right.
about me. So I'm gonna ask you, and just always asking questions and just always wanting to talk to people that are actually doing it. And yeah, he just really made me just do my due diligence and just soak things up like a sponge and just do more listening than talking. And now I'm at the point where I actually have something to say because of my experiences, of my learning, of my studying and my intensive mentoring from him and his friends and just people in his network too. Because he was in the industry, but there's also people around him that did different things in the industry as well that I was able to learn from. So I just say, just do your due diligence and just study and just ask people questions for sure.
for those who are just might be tuning in, if you're listening on one of your very favorite podcasts and or watching on LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook, we stream live simultaneously. We're with hip hop sensation Amir Shaheed as he's returning back into the industry with his new LP. So you can definitely listen to his music on any of our podcast site. Just go to entrepreneurlife.show. They're all there to listen to, as well as how to get a hold of him. My question is, music is really ever changing. It's always changing and trying to be relevant. And I know you see yourself, a lot of people in the industry that are just sometimes don't stay true to themselves and the originality.
Right.
It used to be how they came out with, and that's what people like, that originality. And now then people they want to sell records. So they just become just like another artist. You know what I'm saying? So how do you keep yourself relevant and to be yourself, be original to you and your music?
Right.
Well, I mean, I love being me. I mean, I don't like to be like nobody else, honestly. And I think that's what makes me a star. And I think that's what makes you a star. And what makes anybody a star is being themselves. We all have, as I always say, we all have our own thumbprint. If you touch this wall, I touch this wall, she touches this wall, it's going to be, and forensics comes in, it's going to be different. They're going to be able to identify you by your thumbprint. And I just think that's our personal pin to this universe. That's our personal stock to this universe. And I think that's what makes you you. And I just think me being me is what I love. I don't want to be like nobody else, honestly. And that would also slap my lineage, my family, what my father did, what my family did in the face, because it's like I'm deviating away from what they've already created, what they've already, founded and what their foundation is. And I just want to build on that. And I think being me is always what's going to allow me to have something to say. I only have something to say because it's coming from my experience and my perspective. If I follow someone else, I won't have nothing to say because I'm following somebody else. I'm not being true to me and what I have to say and what I have to offer. So I
Do
mean,
you think that that hinders you in the industry? Because again, a lot of artists start just like you with the originality and being themselves, and then they get sucked up into the industry, and now the companies start to change their their delivery and all of that in order to be a little bit more successful. So how does that really work?
I mean, let's just be real. I mean, it's nothing wrong with adapting, and it's nothing wrong with changing. Sometimes change can be good. But I think creatively, because this is a creative industry, yes, you have business, but the creative is what makes it even a business. So
Right.
at the end of the day, business people don't know what's hot. You know, business people are good with stats and good with accounting and good with
Very true.
you know,
He's talking about us.
you know, stuff like that. But the creative side, I think, it's a collaboration. Business people have to collaborate with the creatives in order to even make it a business. It's with anything. And so it's just like a good restaurant. Yes, you got the business side of it, but the food has to be good. So you have to you got to respect the chef. Nobody's going to come back to your restaurant, no matter how much marketing, no matter how much you go on Yelp and you fake the star reviews and you do whatever. You still got to want to cook that restaurant. The food got to taste good. The food speaks for itself. So
Your thinking on some things is like amazing. It's really good.
Right. I love it.
appreciate it.
So if there was anything that you would say with the music that you have out right now, is there any particular one that you'd say is really says this is you and any of your music? If you listen to this song, this is me.
Man, that's interesting. That's a good question. I have so much music. I have stuff I want to release now again. I could release something every month this year if I want to. I have so much music because it's a vibe. It's just an expression on what I'm feeling at the moment. The interesting thing about this EP is that every song was unique in a sense. Like, I didn't have a preset sound or a preset theory that I was going in with, like, these are going to be the exact 9 tracks that I'm putting on this EP. It was like I had 3 tracks, and then I would get inspired, and then a 4th would come. And then I would get inspired, and a 5th would come. And then before you know it, I had 9 tracks. And I'm like, these are the tracks that I'm going to release now. So what song I would say really embodies me? It would have to be almost all of them, because I mean,
because you're writing from your story, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like, even wanting a bigger house. I want a bigger house could be technically commercial, right? However, I do and genuinely did want a bigger house at the time, I just wanted space, I wanted, more room to walk around. I wanted to feel comfortable in my place. And so that even was an expression, no matter how fun I made it. It was definitely an expression. So, and then like this, that's just going back to being unique to me. I'm not saying I'm unequal to anybody, but I'm saying that no one's like me because I am my own person. I have my own fingerprint. I'm my own person. So of course there's no one like me and there's no one like you. You both are unique and I'm unique because we're our own person. So this embodies me too, because no, you haven't seen no one like me because I'm me. I'm Amir. I'm from Los Angeles. I'm me. And then Checkmate was something like, I'm having fun with Checkmate, but I'm also basically I'm carrying on a legacy. In this game of, if this is a game and we're metaphorically speaking, and this game is chess, then I'm still going to carry on a legacy, and I'm still checkmating in that legacy. I'm still carrying on my dad's message. I'm still carrying on my family lineage, and as I'm carrying it on, I'm checkmating along the way, and so that's also a song that embodies me. And then and then Fake is a song that embodies me too. You know, I couldn't just pick one song. Sorry, but
Do you feel any pressure because of your father? You know, to feel to like, do you, because you know your father's known in the industry, and of course, then you know your hiatus because of that, it obviously took a toll on you. Do you feel a pressure to maybe meet a certain standard?
that's a good question. I used to, because when my dad was alive, I was always like I would always do stuff for my parents. You know what I mean?
We live for them.
Yeah, for real, for real. You know, like it's crazy because like I was going to college and my degree was like criminal justice and business. Like it wasn't even like music was art, right? So it's just an outlet, but it wasn't something like at first in my early years I was taking like super like, you know, serious like that. Because of my dad, because I was always trying to impress him. Like, let me get the degree, let me go to school, let me, you know, let me apply to this job, let me get this career. You know, I was always putting my artistic expression on the back end because of my dad, because of the pressure of my dad. But while my dad was here, he started to see me kind of coming to my own and figure out what it was that I wanted to do and what kind of made me happy. And not saying art is the only thing I'm going to do in life, but what I'm saying is that it's definitely my niche and it's definitely something I like to do. And it's definitely something I enjoy. And so, yeah, I mean, it was pressure at first. Now it's no pressure because I'm living for me, you know, of course. And when I mean building on top of someone's legacy, all I'm saying is that, you know, he left a foundation, you know, and he left a foundation in the art world, in the business world. And so just elevating that, you know, taking it to a new height. So then my next offspring can elevate that, you know, even if they want to go in a different direction, you know, it's up to them. But
If there's anybody that you could collaborate with in music, who would you want to collaborate with?
man, there's so many people, honestly. It really is. I mean, it's just so many good people. It's a lot of good talent, good art, you know, good artists that that's just a tough question. I mean, it's a tough question. You know, Jesse Reyes is a good artist too. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Jesse Reyes, but I think you know, because man, I've listened to all type of stuff, and I like how she delivers her content. You know, I could tell she's speaking from her heart, and I can tell she's mastered a way of how to say things that are relatable, but also fun to listen to. And I think she's dope. I think Tierra Whack is a dope artist. You know, now, and let me see. I mean, it's just so many people. Honestly, shoot, so many people. So many people.
Do you think that with new music today, do you think a lot of young artists sell out too soon? I mean, that they just don't take. I guess they don't have to be young. I said so many people just want the fame right now you know, they want people to know who they are versus just taking the time to
craft their art. Yeah.
Yes. Now everybody, you know, they're gone because they haven't taken that time.
You know, everybody honestly has their own reason of why they do something, you know, and I'm all for free enterprise. You know, I mean, I hate to even really judge anybody's art when I do listen to people's art because it's their art. That's their expression. That's their that's their opinion, that's their perspective, that's their way of expressing themselves. So I really try to like be objective, and not subjective when I'm listening to, art or music, because everybody has their own reason. And I mean, I mean, I have my own reason. So it's really tough to speak for why other people do the things they do. It's just tough.
So you said there's rap and there's hip hop, right? So excuse
Yeah.
me. It seems like
Tell us the difference.
it's the same to me. Or maybe people are just intermingling them both. So
Yeah, please explain the two differences, yeah, for us.
And that's probably a stupid question to somebody in the music industry, but
That's interesting. I mean, you said there's rap and there's hip hop. When in a sense they're the same. I mean, what do you consider hip hop like?
I consider hip hop more dance music without the rap. It's like, you're seeing it can be a bit aggressive, but when I think rap, I think I think like Snoop, I think of KRS-One. I think rap as storytellers. And I think hip hop as more dance music, although you can dance to rap because it has to have that what do you call it? That good I feel you have to have that one verse. That's something that people cling to. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But then you go to R&B, so could R&B be then considered part of hip hop? So I don't understand the difference, because when you go at the award show, I'm trying to figure out, okay, they separate them, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a good thing that it puts people in the area. What they really are should be classed at. What they're doing.
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's a good point you made. I think music is connected. I got to say that again, because go back to the Duke Ellingtons and go back before that.
Yeah.
Like when country artists get mad at people wanting to do country, it's like, do you guys not know country came from bluegrass?
No, I don't think.
Like, bluegrass is where jazz was also originated in Louisiana, New Orleans, years ago. So
yeah,
it's like music is so connected, because even rock, like when you hear a rock artist is basically using a faster kick drum,
mm-hmm.
And a faster like BPM.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically saying the same thing a rap artist says.
Yeah.
And like, I like a lot of like, it's funny because I can collaborate with people in the rock field too. Like, there's some folks like in the rock industry, like Young Blood is a guy that's a rocker, and he says things that relates to like a rapper. He talks about his life, he expresses himself, and then country, it comes from that blues, like you talk about, like you got the blues, like you going through some things.
Yeah, you're telling a story.
You're telling the story, yeah.
Yeah, so it's all connected. It's just different rhythms. It's just different beats, and that's why as an artist, I can be in any genre. I can write for any genre and collaborate with any genre, because it's all art. It's not out of the ordinary that I can collaborate with an opera singer if I wanted to, because it's art. And if someone can do that, then I don't know. I don't know if they love the art like that, but it's all connected. It's really all connected. It's really crazy how it is. Like you can hear any beat in the world, and I guarantee you could put a rap, you could put some lyrics together for that beat. Any beat.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So true. So being in LA, I mean, obviously you're surrounded by a lot of hungry people that, again, wants to get their music out there and be known, and so how does that kind of like, what does that feel like? What does that look like for you to be kind of surrounded with those people and seeing their hunger? And does that motivate you and drive you even more to, to do more with your music, so you're seeing other people as hungry as you?
I mean, I don't compete, to be honest with you. I'm only in competition with myself. But I mean, it's inspiring to see people that are in love with their craft and passionate about their craft. So it inspires me to stay sharp and to be better at what I'm doing too. But I definitely don't also worry about it because, you know, that's good. Like, do what you want to do. You know, I'm not competing with them at the end of the day. I'm just like trying to be better than myself. Like, I'm trying to be better than the yesterday Amir every day. Just any little thing, musically as a person, because when I change as a person, my music changes. So yeah, I don't really look to them like as a competition. I just say, hey, you know, it's dope. Like, and I like to collaborate with people like that because it's like it's dope. We share some of the same perspectives sometimes, you know. They're artists, they're fellow artists, and so they have that artistic mindset, and we kind of, you know, can talk about the same things, and you know, that's always stimulating when you can find people that and it doesn't have to be musically, but people that just, you know, got something to say, people that just, you know, talks about different things, you know. It's stimulating. So of course, people in my city that are also doing music is I think it's a cool thing.
What do you think about the I was gonna say the a lot of underground artists that just aren't getting their due diligence?
Right.
There's quite few because somebody will come out like that. You know, I'm not in the music industry, but all of a sudden,
right,
they'll come out. Then we feel, oh, they've been in the industry for years,
right.
But it just, you know, and I don't know what happens back in the industry that it's like, well, right now, what's her name that just came out? She's had her songs now is Lizzo. And the song's been out years ago, and now it's like, oh, now, you know, now it's this popular thing, but really it's old. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It today. So we're not seeing these artists. Why not? I mean, how is it that we don't see all these underground artists? Why are they not? You don't think that they're getting enough playtime?
Right. That's so true.
Yeah, you know, it's the universe, man. You know, I mean, there's no right answer for that. It's the universe. It's
all about timing, huh?
Yeah, and whatever the universe wants. I mean, all we can do as artists is just do the art. I mean, I'm doing the art because it's a self-expression. So, I mean, I do it as a therapy, as an outlet. So, I mean, all I can do is just do my art and then go from there. I mean, she did the art, and then, you know, when people were ready for it, it caught traction.
Man, Rose, I think I'm ready to like hear some of his music. Can we play something, please?
Actually, you know, okay. So for those of you who, in case you have not gone to our site, entrepreneurlife.show, if you go directly to our site, you will be able to actually listen to his music there. But we're going to put something on just to give you a little taste in case you have not gone there. So it's entrepreneurlife.show, and you will be able to hear it on 365 Live Radio, iHeart, Spotify, just click on anything and his music will be there. So let's bring something up. I'm going to share my screen so that we can bring up and let you hear what's going on. Okay, so here we go. And make sure that everybody can hear this. So let's see, is there anything specific or can I choose anything?
You can choose anything, but put the first track of the EP on.
Okay, so I am going to get the first share my screen, put on the audio. So I just want to let you know that I know a rap song. It's the only rap song I know by heart, which is Pepper Delight. That's how old I am. Okay, so we have Like This, Her, Phony, Fake, Bigger, or Brand New.
But Don't Like This are Fake.
Okay, let's start with Fake. Here we go, listeners. I hate your love, but you a flake. If you wanna see me, they gon' get my rate. You hesitate, can't wait. I'm buying houses, I'm buying states. I'm on the lakes, I'm looking great. I had a bloody blanket all on my person. I was in. Okay, so I want to know what's that about. Hey, it says fake. Are you talking about somebody or what?
I know. I was like, well, that sounds a little aggressive there.
It's an experience. I mean, it's definitely an experience. I mean, I had someone one time give me a bloody blanket. I needed a blanket, and the blanket had blood on it. It's exactly what I said. It's just my own experience. It's nothing about anybody else. It's just somebody gave me a blanket one time that was bloody, and I had to deal with it.
I'm going to play a little bit more of that, then we're going to go to another track for all of our listeners. So, of course, we're listening to Amir. Now, just remember, a lot of his music comes from, if you read his bio, you can actually go into our site, entrepreneurlife.show. His music will be there, as well as a brief bio and how to get a hold of him. So now you can kind of get an idea of when he writes his music. He's telling a little bit about himself and his experience. So let's get a little bit more fake, and then we're going to bring something else up for us listeners to listen to. Here we go. I found my purpose. Then I got released, no house arrest. Manifested everything, got it off my chest. This is not a test, you are under arrest. You fucking with the breath. Boy, I'm like the nest. I'm watching over you from a secret view. I know the secret you. I know the freaking you. Are you excited? So yeah, you're definitely talking about somebody. Okay. With no name. Okay. So I like that actually. I like the hook. And it's dance worthy.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. I like it myself, and I'm over 50.
Okay.
So like I know it's rappers light. I only my heart. Okay, so let's get a little bit more and listen to. Okay, I think we were talking about phony. Let's bring that up for a few of our listeners to listen to. Here we go. You don't really know me, nigga. You a phony, nigga. You can't control me, nigga. I just made 6 figures. No, you're saying can't control me. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So, is there a reason for that?
A reason for why I said it?
No, it's just was that something in regards to your? That's a part of your expression, I'm sure.
Of course.
Let's play a little bit more of it. All my young niggas that'll make it out. Yeah, I found the route. This is what I'm about. Better watch your mouth when you in my house. Yeah, I got a spouse. She gon' hook it out. Grand architect, walk out there. Young little nigga with a whole lot of skill. Fuck with a young nigga, you can get killed. I got me that I ain't got spill. Nigga in the industry, who the fuck is real? Nigga in the industry, who got a deal? In this fucking game, nigga, you gon' need to shit. So are you talking about being in the industry?
I guess I'm talking about a few different things. I'm talking about, who you can trust, who you can't trust, situations that people have showed me parts of their character that I'm not really too, cool about. And I'm talking about people that I've come across that are very controlling, very, very domineering, have domineering attitudes, trying to just control another man, and just not another man, but just another person.
Right.
And, it was just one of those expressions that, I'm my own person. I don't owe anybody anything. But respect and decency. And it's just one of those moods I was in that, you deal with all types of characters.
Well, let me tell you, my
It's
favorite.
interesting you say that. Do you come across a lot of fake people in the industry? Like, you know, they're not really talking about anything, not really doing anything, but they have the lip to keep them kind of going.
In general,
the mouthpiece.
in general, to be honest with you, it's in general. I mean, you just come across people that sometimes you come across people that try to tell you how to do something that they've never done it.
Right.
You know, it's like I don't know. It's like, what are you talking about? You've never even done this, so it's like,
right.
How do you even have an opinion? How is your perspective even valid? Is what's interesting.
Right. Rose craziness, huh? He's saying a lot of things that we talk about all the time.
No, I did listen to your stuff, and I think actually the reason I said I don't know if you say it's her. It's kind of like her. Is that it? HEIR here.
What you mean?
So was two of the favorites was that and Brand New for me. I really like. So is that her? Is that how you say it?
But I'm
like, in terms of the title of the song, is it here? How do you say it? Like, I know what you're saying. Is it her or here? Like that word, can't really pronounce it.
What song are you talking about?
So I think it's HEIR. Is that it?
HEI. Oh, air.
Air, yes.
I'm like, what? I don't have no song like that on my EP. Here.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah, it's air.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So I want to say, but Brand New is one of my favorites. If you don't mind, I want to kind of let people get a listen to that.
Yeah, play it.
Okay, here we go. I really like that whole beginning.
Yeah. It's your net worth ever met. But you grow up and learn shit, you know? Pops on the glory. I'm still reaping the benefits.
I like that background. I really like that line.
Yeah, me too. I love it. Yeah.
Like you're anticipating the boom, you know what I mean?
Brand new whip, checkmate. Brand new bricks, checkmate. Brand new bitch, checkmate. Brand new drip, checkmate. Brand new whip, checkmate. Brand new bricks, checkmate. Brand new bitch, checkmate. Pull up on your girl like Postmates. Get straight to the case like birthday. Strawberry taste good, mix Hershey. All niggas go up on a Thursday. Only get high off the per day. I'm a real Mac, check my wordplay. Got a lot of bad girls like Ray J. The nigga bitch holler like hey hey. Under the sun I'm a beast. I'm a big dog man.
I really like this one. I mean, I
know. I'm ready to go dancing right now.
It starts off like kind of like, you know, really rhythmic and solemn, but it's like
right. And then it just went hard. I love it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. So, and I think it's all different from all the other stuff that at least this is the only thing you put out. But from all the others, I mean, that's, which one was your very first, or is this not one of the very first you've done?
Like, what you mean, like song wise?
Yeah.
Well, Bigger House I put out, you know,
in 2018, right?
Yeah. So I just, because it was still kind of like relevant, I went ahead and put it on the EP.
Okay, so let's do a little bit.
It's funny because as you guys are listening to stuff, I'm like low key dreading it because it's like my sisters have listened to these things and my mother, and you know, it's just interesting to see like a woman's perspective, you know, because of course my mom, you should imagine, you know.
A little bit of Bigger House, since that was like the 2018. So let's give our listeners a little listen to that. Again, they like it. I don't know, your voice in the front is very. Is that your voice?
Shit, my bitch hold me down forever. No, for sure. I want a bigger house. I want a faster car. I want a Mastercard. I want to charge it hard. I wanna ball so hard. I wanna ball so big. Oh man, I just gotta go and get a mansion. I just blow escrow and Hamptons. I just did my fucking taxes and I'm doing dances. I don't wanna work no 9 to 5. I just wanna fly to Dubai and then find my tour guide. Green bands all about this pie. I just know I'm illumination. 6 degrees of separation. I don't need no reparation. Been rich before education. Fuck her with that segregation. Mix that black with the white. Mix codeine with Sprite. Get fucked up off your pride. I ain't gotta choose a side between the 6 or 9. I gotta roll these dice like I'm in the hood ducking from the vice. Young banks between.
So I'm not saying this because I'm listening. You're really good.
I know. I was gonna say the same.
I mean, it's you can tell it's a story. And
Right.
you sound different. You don't
Right.
sound the same. And like some people, you just know it's them all. It's also different.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's nice how you can switch it up because like you said, you can always know it's Snoop Dogg when it's Snoop Dogg that stars, right? You know, like that's unique. That's cool. I like that.
And no disrespect to other artists. I know no one wants to disrespect an artist, but some people always just stay in the same. You just always know it's them. It's
Right.
They stay in their comfort zone, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
To get to that point, because even me, you know, you sometimes as an artist, you can get into a pocket, into a certain zone. You only want to create within that zone, within that pocket, and you have to like, I don't know, you got to try new things. And sometimes you're scared to try new things because you don't want it to be whack, or you don't feel like it represents you the best. And that's all that is. And once you get out of that comfort zone and you just try it, you know, because I have things like I remember Q-Tip was talking about it. He would do music and he would just throw away stuff. And his group would be like, "What you doing, dog?" Like that was hot. And he was saying how he would just throw things away. And I think that's a real thing with a lot of artists. They're very critical on themselves and they're perfectionists. And they'll have content that they'll just not think is good enough. They'll get too in their head and then they just stay in that comfort zone and only make a certain thing. And that's what that's about.
It's interesting.
Because you have so many different types of styles of music, because obviously you like different artists and different music, but you can actually tell in your music that you take from different types of genres. So do you think that comes from your background, of your multicultural background?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. That's definitely a good point. For sure. Just I never could see nothing one way, you know, like, because like on both sides of the family, they just have total different perspectives on the world, on how they see things culturally. And for sure, it definitely makes me eclectic and makes me very diverse and open-minded to different things and different ideas, for sure.
So I'm going to pay one more if I can. I'm sorry if we're like go wrong. I really did listen to your music. That's why I wanted to put it out. So we just don't like interview people without actually like, you know, really looking at their stuff and listening to it. So I wanted to do like this, if that's okay.
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 Testing out Pluto. I ain't never seen nothing like this. Have you ever seen a black man like this? Have you ever seen a black man become a great? California nigga jerk, be my accent. I ain't never seen nothing quite like this. Have you ever seen a black man like this? Have you ever seen a black man get rich? Black man looking fly in my own apparel. 420 getting high off the Donatello. Meditate for the ground on another level. You are out bet the odds, I'ma come and kill you. One shot, body chop, I'ma fucking flip you. If you ain't talking about the paper, I'ma fucking feel you. If you ain't talking about the money, I'ma fucking feel you. If you ain't talking about the paper, I'ma fucking feel you. My people ain't really never been a color. Make moves undercover, never been discovered. Real estate, yeah, they always been a hustler. Play the game, it's a fucking puzzle. You can never break into this industry, cause you niggas don't study your history. That's why your people is mislead. Hot king with the shake of the shimmery.
Dude, that one gave me chills.
And that's education right there.
Right.
We're teaching people something right there.
Yeah, that one definitely gave me some chills listening to that one. Yeah.
That's
Like that.
That's
No,
interesting.
I'm so serious. Like I started getting goosebumps. I was like, what?
Wow. Okay.
Because what you were saying is real, and I think that's what is going to touch a lot of people. And if when they're listening to your music, I mean, you're speaking your truth, and it's interesting because definitely I felt it.
I mean,
Appreciate
it says, it for you, it's, I say, I don't know if it's rap or hip hop, but for some rappers, it's very aggressive. It's like people stopped telling the story. People just started rhyming without there being anything tangible to take with you.
Right.
Now they're just looking for the hook. They're not looking for the listen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You have to stay with it, because I think that when people connect to music, that's what makes them want to buy the music. Sometimes people just buy for the hook, then the hook is gone. So it's like KRS-One never goes. Certain artists, they're always there because you connected with the music. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, with the story. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we've lost that in a lot of music today. So that's why I thought yours was very inspiring. That's why I wanted to play some of it, because of that.
Right.
Yeah, people. I mean, it's a tough one because, like I said, it's weird when it comes to art. It's so weird because it's like being a judge. Like a judge can't have bias. If you want to be a judge, you got to be super, super objective.
Right.
No, that's how I am with art. Like, I'm super objective. Of course, if we're plugging it in with the market, and like I'm doing, if I'm looking at statistics and I'm looking at market trends, then of course, you be objective, but you become a little subjective, because now it's more so about a bottom line. It's about a market trend, how they fit into the market. But if it's just listening to the art without even having business in mind, then it's like, I don't know. I'm just super subjective with it because I don't know. It's just interesting because it's like their perspective, It's just their perspective.
Well, I'm really glad you came on the show.
Yes.
I'm glad that we're able to interview you and have you on, and hopefully you come back when you have, if you're going to be, you have any more music that you'd like to share with us. I want to make sure I tell all the listeners to make sure that you go to our site, entrepreneurlife.show, so you can listen to all of his music, follow Amir, as well as he's going to tell you how to find him, how to connect with him, get his music.
Yeah, so, my website is amirshaheed.com. That's AMIR Shaheed, SHAHEED. You could also check me out on Instagram at Unlimited Prosperity. And
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. And to everybody, again, who is listening, thank you so much for tuning in every Saturday to Entrepreneur Life, where we stream live on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and on all of your favorite podcasts. You should be able to find us just by typing in entrepreneurlife.show on Amazon Alexa. So the easiest way to find out every place we are is go to entrepreneurlife.show every Saturday.
Yes. Thank you so much, listeners. Thank you. Thank you again, Amir, for being a part of our show. It was very interesting, entertaining. We're really happy about your journey and what you have to offer the world. And thank you again for just telling everyone to be themselves and be individuals, because it's important.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me, for sure.
Have a great weekend.
You too. All righty. Have a good one.